So then I said, seeing how the whole place is pretty much closed down, I'm going to have the whole place to myself, so I may as well make the most of it for this revisit to the Namco Museum.
Okay, that was because, first off, you might want to lower those speakers because the audio is so damn loud.
I'm fine, I heard it.
Second off, I was also be like, okay, so it's not just me, because I could have sworn we did do this already.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely did this, but we're going to show off the one last thing I failed to do in the last look at. We're going to go to the Carnival arcade, which pretty much houses all your favorite Namco classics.
Because the lines were way too dang long, but now we've snuck in after hours, and now we get the whole arcade to ourselves.
Yep, so for this little look at / part 2 of our Namco no, this is technically part 3, considering we did part 1 with the pack and roll look at. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna roll around this arcade and mess it up and make the most of things and just play whatever arcade games I feel like. Starting off with one of Namco's earliest classics, King and Balloon, aka a medieval ripoff of Space Invaders.
Oh,
Huh?
guard. Oh, okay, so we have to protect him from all the other balloons that are coming to get him. So I was gonna say, okay, yeah, no, so I see Space Invaders. What was I gonna say? That so whereas in that first part we were looking at all of the like the remix versions. This is genuinely where they keep all of the like vintage, like vaulted arcade games.
Yep. Now the cool thing about King and Balloon is even like the only thing you have to worry about is the king. Like it's safe. You get shot down. You do go down for a brief bit, but you don't lose a life. And well, thankfully the king is immune to the bullets. However, he is not immune to the entourage of balloons that are slowly but surely falling onto his royal flooring.
Oh no!
Stop walking on him.
I was about to say, I could just walk around these balloons.
But I, as a king.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. It's just that he doesn't know a thing or two about peripheral vision. My king!
Oh, bye.
Bye.
They got him. What if this happened in real life?
I'm back again.
Well, sir, the entire country is under siege. It's like, how could we have lost? Well, they flew away the king on a balloon, like a hot air balloon. No, like literally like a party balloon, and he just happened to grab the string, and God help me, did not want to let go.
Well, given their shape, they could be hard air balloons, and that they could be.
Sorry, it's instinct for me to keep doing that.
You're fine.
I was about to say, like, given the shape, they could be hot air. They could be hot air balloons, and the king's just a giant.
Wow. I can see that.
Wow, the king really let himself go in that case. But yeah, that's pretty much all we'll be showing off the King Balloon. Because again, it's pretty much a Space Invaders knockoff, but with a fairly amusing little gimmick attached to it.
Hey, I'm not going to.
And it was never acknowledged again. So how about we move on to our next game, Bosconian?
The sci-fi adventure, fool.
Pretty much, yeah. So Bosconian is your typical space shooter. Although I will say, I guess sort of to coin what I just previously said, it's a space shooter with another interesting gimmick. You are piloting a two-armed airship that shoots in both directions. And I do apologize for constantly pausing because I keep the way the controls are for the Namco Museum Megamix are kind of weird in that what I expect to be the action button just turns out to be the pause button and so on and so forth.
Well, so I guess I'll assume, because since we had to emulate it for this to work, was this was this assuming you had the nunchuck, the classic controller, or the OGs, or the sideways Wiimote?
I think it plays with the sideways Wii remote in mind, even though it does say that you can't technically play with all the other options. Oh wow, my noble sacrifice was just enough to clear the level.
All right. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna judge you if you're not too good at some. Can you imagine having to try and play these arcade games with nothing but your mouth? Pac-Man has no arms. He just rolls around and just tries to reach for the controls.
This is what general gamers insist I look like.
Poor Pac boy.
I just want to play the game, and he can't. I just want to play my own game, and he just can't get.
Also, should be reminded that the arcade units on the front, on the front row, are all exclusive to Megamix. Yes, including the original Pac-Man. So remember back in our archives look at when we showed off Dig Dug for the NES. Now let's play the actual arcade version, which is, goes without saying, it's a little easier on the eyes and the ears.
You know, I find it funny that you hovered over, before we got to the game, I find it funny that you hovered over Pac-Man for just a second, then turned back. It's like, it's not like we have to play him in every video.
Congratulations, you beat level 1.
Yeah, by literally tearing down an island. So yeah, basically that's the whole idea behind Dig Dug 2. It's literally the same kind of game where you're still destroying all of the pukas and Figars on an island. Though this time around, you're completely above ground and...
that's kind of gruesome.
Yes, it
That's
is.
just how Dig Dug do.
You dig?
Oh, I see what we can do.
That's what Dig
Hi-ya.
does.
Congratulations. And yeah, we gotta get around to doing Driller and all the other like drillers. Because I guess, yeah, that's been like... If I can just talk about that real quick, is that seems to be like... I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but yeah, I guess Dig Dug and Driller have like their own extended universe thing, kind of like what River City Girls did for Double Dragon and River City.
The
Yeah,
Namco Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and I mean, personally speaking, I love it. Like, if it does mesh around some of the more like out there like Namco classics, like it's a mashup of
Aw.
Like it pretends to be its own. It's mostly its own thing, but it still carries in elements from the Dig Dug series, and even throws in a mention to a bard, considering the hero's mother is the protagonist of that game.
Okay. And yeah, I saw what you were trying to do there. You couldn't Looney Tunes your way out of that one.
Nope, unfortunately.
Hacking
Taizo
town.
unfortunately does have to follow some levels of logic.
Cutie Q.
Cutie Q is actually a very interesting case among the entire collection in that this is the only game out of the lot that actually does make use of the Wii remote.
Oh. Oh, it move. Oh, so it's motion controls to move. So that you're controlling with your mouse.
I'll be right
Exactly.
back.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Now,
So
Cutie Q, if I remember correctly, is another one of Namco's oldest titles. In fact, I think it's literally their very first title ever, I think.
Huh. So it.
I mean, I could be wrong on that, but it definitely predates Pac-Man.
So this is like. It looks like. Oh, geez. So it looks like Breakout meets Pinball.
Pretty much, yeah. It treats itself like a pinball game with breakout physics.
Oh.
Oh.
So what? Okay. So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when all? Geez. I was gonna say, yeah. I was wondering what was gonna
there
happen
you
when
go.
all the Cutie Qs picked up, but suddenly the ball just decides, "Yep, I'm out of here," and just breaks loose.
It just eradicates them all.
He literally wrecked a house.
So, yeah, it probably goes without saying. I've never played this game before.
That's
Saying,
okay.
"Oh, what the-"
I think a majority. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was probably like the first time the game ever got released in the States. Again, that's a assumption on my end because I don't know if this game ever did get released in the arcades in the West. Like everyone remembers Pac-Man, everyone remembers Dig Dug and Galaxian and Galaga, but Cutie Q is like literally, unless it did get some sort of limited release, you never hear anyone talk about it. Which
Right.
I mean, I understand why. It's still at the end of the day a breakout game trying to be pinball like.
This.
I mean,
looks...
I'll
Yo,
give it.
you go ahead.
I'll give it credit for a breakout knockoff. At least it looks like it at least tries to stand on its own compared to the other breakout clones.
Absolutely.
I probably would have gotten more. I probably would have gotten more out of it had it been a handheld, though, as opposed to like playing in an arcade like cabinet.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before we had the likes of Galaga and Gaplus, we had Galaxian.
Good old Galaxian.
I'm back. What I miss?
Just we finished off that pinball game. I said it probably would have
Actually-
worked better as a handheld, but now we're getting back to good old Galaxian.
Yeah. And what's funny is that like you left and came back at the right time. Like the minute James said, "Oh, I'm using the motion controls. I'll be right back." Like he couldn't stand the sight of motion controls.
Yeah, I see ya.
And you confused me for so long, Seely. You always told me that you were a fan of Skyward Sword.
Yeah, I've seen some casual motion control play. I'll be right back.
Which is why I'm gonna record it for the channel.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting. We got Bland.
But how could you say you not like the motion controls when that game is 90% motion controls?
I like to
Yeah, right.
imagine, just because of how the projectile like starts off at the front of your ship, I like to imagine that somehow we have created the first ever spaceship entirely weaponized with a bow and arrow.
Honestly, it does kind of. The whole thing does kind of look like an elaborate bow and arrow.
It does,
Kind
yeah.
of,
At the very
yeah.
front, just. Thoom, thoom, and
I
you
mean,
got
hell, the
it.
middle of it looks like an arrow.
Oh, we got a Galaxian left.
Yep, the bad honcho himself.
All this
One,
time,
two.
all this time, when Pac-Man held it up, I thought it was a good guy.
Oh, Logan, you're but mistaken. I mean, hell, one of the bosses in the original Pac-Man world was literally a giant Galaxian named the King Galaxian.
Oh yeah,
That was interesting.
And that
That
boss fight
was-
sucked, for the record.
I bet.
It took a lot of like you're gonna have bruised thumbs by the end of it.
Ooh, a test.
We are the Galaxians. Thank you. Duly noted. I guess, is there... Now, you don't have to do... Kind of like how we learned back when we were doing Pac-Man World 2, you don't have to do anything to unlock any of these guys, right? Like, they're all available from the get-go?
No. These are all unlocked from the get-go.
Okay.
I mean, it would be kind of... I can't think of it. I can't think of too many, if any, Namco Museum titles that actually made you unlock their arcade titles.
Oh, look at all the cats.
And, I mean, I will admit, I'm not sure if this is probably going to be well-timed or not, but I still think this is one of my personal favorite arcade games, just for the near nature of it being like a typical cat-and-mouse chase adventure. This is Mappy.
No, yeah, we've talked about Mappy a couple of times, and it's always a classic for us.
In fact, I think we did Mappy a few times, too.
Oh, I know we did on the Namco remix thingy.
Yeah, which had co-op, and then there was the, again, in the archive version, but this is pretty much my preferred way of playing Mappy, with this full-on mansion setting, the very catchy, if not somewhat ear-grating, sound design.
Oh, just bonk them. What I was gonna say, it's like they're trying to do a lot of that, like, vibrato trills or whatever, and don't
Give
go
me that.
out. Aha! What was I say?
1,000.
I know I was gonna say something. Oh, nice. Oh, that's right. On the when we were back in the arcade setting with Pac-Man, like I almost wonder if they like actually went as far as to design all of the cabinets, like if they actually had that same physical appearance in real life.
I believe that they did. Oh, actually, you know what? No. I think they were all unique, because I just remembered, like, the arcade Pac-Man cabinet, I don't think was ever shaped like Pac-Man.
Okay, this one I thought was cute, where the Mappy arcade cabinet does look like the mansion.
Yeah.
It does. And I mean, what a place to set up your arcade.
Yay.
But yeah, no, like I brought up multiple times now, like the old goal behind Mappy is that you're going across the mansion collecting all the stolen goods that Namco and his gang of Miyukis have stolen and spread all across the place. In the meanwhile, you have to avoid the Miyukis themselves, and I mean, Goro's gonna, loiter around, do whatever the hell he really wants, but he's still got the one poke of death on his side, so be cautious of him.
We are but a mouse policeman on a job.
With a baton that's really just there for show.
I always thought the idea was that he got completely mixed up and accidentally got a conductor's baton.
Oh no! That's what it looks like.
Yeah, honestly,
Ow!
Now, for some reason, I get this image of like Mappy doing that thing that in that one episode of SpongeBob where it looks like the police are beating up a guy, but they're just stringing out a street post.
All right, now let's do this one. I love that bit. Like, oh, this will straighten you out.
Now let's do that one, and then Mrs. Puff just drives on by.
Holy cow! Did you see that? He was driving with a license plate.
It's like, I thought it was like, yeah, the left blinker on his light was out. Let's get him, or something like that. Anyway, bonus.
I think it was the license plate, but that would be just as funny.
Oh, okay. And yes, definitely going to get around to that eventually. There have been some very promising updates made to the PC version of Rehydrated, which means I'm gonna wait for try my luck and hope that they'll churn out a couple more quality of life updates, but
like maybe make it so that you don't automatically walk forward when you do the bubble bowl, which I still never understood why that's the case.
It was like a tiptoe thing, and that's supposed to be what happens anyway. That's how like cruise boosting was a thing. And we touched on Namco.
Literally at the last second.
But yeah, got all the balloons.
That shit's real tense if you don't know what you're doing.
See our co-op experience to see how frustrated I was whenever I was trying to do those bonus stages to learn how.
Yep. But yeah, that's enough Mappy for a lifetime. I'd say. This they're gonna somehow make a grand, like it'll be like the remake we never really expected, like the Toki remake, but it's gonna be from Mappy Adventure.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, from Mappy Land. But
Mappy Land,
yeah. Anyway, our final game for this look at is, well, again, we brought this up with the arcade archives, but this is Gaplus, the official sequel to Galaga, and I mean, it pretty much just is better than Galaga in almost every way possible.
Bugs.
Lots of bugs, lots of anime bugs with a very intense pattern, so carefully they don't ram you. And the graphics definitely look a lot more colorful.
That and the fact that you can actually move around in more directions than just left and right.
Oh, yeah.
Sealy, what's your opinion on space shooters with space bugs in them?
All the time, all the bugs.
It looks too chaotic for me to handle. That's my opinion.
Oh, that's right. Now we can capture one.
Come here, you little beauties.
3.
So what do we do with them?
You shouldn't. Oh.
They come to our side.
And now we got a Mega Busters. Done.
Hooray for space lobotomy.
Hooray! We have rehabilitation for space bugs.
The rehabilitation beam.
Wait, did Namco? Hang on, did Namco create Centipede?
No, that was Atari, I think.
Atari. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was gonna say, like, yeah, there were a lot of bugs. Got a really bad rap in arcades. They were all like, it was always destroy them.
Well, I figured it was just because they're an easy target. I mean, it's not like they can fight back. It's not like they can sue you.
That's fair.
The most they can do is just loiter around in your gardens and make you itch.
That's fair, and I love that. That is fair, but I also love the catnip. Thank you. But I do love the I do love the really weird suggestion that was just planted in my head of a bug actually seeking legal counsel for the representation of all the space bugs. Anyway, anywho's.
And yeah, the challenge stages are basically it's kind of like if you were trying to balance whatever bug starts to fall down, because gravity's a thing in space apparently.
Yeah, I wonder what it spells.
It's supposed to spell bonus, but I kind of flubbed up.
Oh.
Like, remember back when we did the archives look at it? It literally just spelled boy.
Boy.
But that seems to be good enough for now.
Yeah, so I think with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that officially ends our elongated look at of the Namco Museum Megamix for the Nintendo Wii, complete with all of the remix stuff and the originals for those that are, too old to appreciate the newer generation.
Yeah.
Like us. But that said, ladies and gentlemen, see you all whenever there's any other Namco museum that's worth giving a look at.
Well, find one yet.
Yep. Bye-bye.
If we won't find one, we'll make one ourselves.
They will come.